What's up, YouTube? Today I wanted to talk about an album that I have mentioned on several other of my videos, but I never got around to doing a proper video about it, and that is this album called Illuminance by Virvum. And I'm picking today to talk about it because I want to help the band out. It looks like they're about to go on a European tour with another very exceptional band, Nea Obliviscaris, and some other bands that I can't remember that are also really awesome. But I just figured it would be a good time to do a video. The reason I mentioned this album, the reason I'm talking about this album, because I'm not going to talk on an album on this channel unless I really think it's special, unless I feel like not enough people know about it, and unless I feel like it really brings something special to the table. And I'm sure you're probably well aware if you listen to technical death metal that there is just so many bands that are just they're there and they're not bad, but they're just not exceptional. What makes a technical death metal band to me exceptional is not just the skill of the players, because there's a lot of technical death metal bands that, while I feel are exceptional players, they're virtuosos in their instruments. What they don't really grasp is the ability to say, okay, this is a good riff, but it may not belong in this song, because you can write a very technical song, but it's not really gonna grab me as exceptional if I can't hear it in my head after several listens of the album. For example, uh, so who I consider to be like masters of it would be everybody flips out over necrophages, but that's one thing that they have been able to do in their career when they were still around, was they're able to write a song and you can actually remember how the whole song went in your head after listening to it. Now, I honestly haven't listened to Epitaph and like actually sat down and listened to the album in probably 5 to 10 years. I actually own it on vinyl in there, but I haven't really sat down and listened to it because I got burnt out from listening to it so much. It's definitely a must own in my collection because of its status and because of what all it inspired after it. But they were masters because they're no longer around. Let's face the music; they're probably done, and that's fine. They're masters at writing a song that you will remember after you hear it. Another band that is still active, and probably my favorite active band of all this kind of stuff, is Gorod. Gorod also are masters of writing a song that is extremely technical, that is also extremely catchy, because they understand that you cannot sacrifice a song for a good riff. So many bands that I like understand this, like Leprous had talked about before on, I think after the Congregation had come out, they said two of the best riffs that they had written during the recording of that album, they tossed aside because it didn't fit in an album, or it didn't fit in a song rather. And that's the thing, like, I've heard so many songs that it's like, oh, that's a cool riff, that's a cool riff, but I completely consider it a forgettable song because it's just a mashup of things that don't belong together. Now, back to the subject of this video. Virvum are what I would consider an exceptional band because not only do they have virtuoso playing skills, but they have the ability to decide that which riffs actually go together and make a good transition and make a song not only technical, but catchy at the same time. I've heard Cypher Supreme a bunch. I've heard Earthwork a bunch. I've heard this album a bunch. And that's the one exceptional thing about this album that stuck out to me, is that not only is this extremely good playing, but it's also an album that I can hum in my head. Like, I know the songs. Like, I can think of the songs after, shit, I don't know, 5 listens of this album. I was starting to remember the songs because they're catchy, because Virvum understands how to put a song together. Uh, they're not afraid to experiment. That's another plus in my book. On the song, I believe it is Earthwork, it almost has like a circusy feel to it. You know, that's going to grab me. A band that's not afraid to do what they feel is best, not afraid to experiment and to make interesting new things. That was something that I feel was pioneered by bands like Unexpect, who weren't afraid to just put weird stuff in there because it's cool, and if it fits the song structure, then do it. Um, these guys are able to do that. I feel that technical death metal has a lot in common with classical music, and I would be willing to bet you that the members of this band and a lot of the other bands that I admire in this genre are probably also fans of classical music. I've been a fan of classical music since I was a tiny little kid. I fell asleep to classical music, so it kind of got ingrained at me. And as I got older, I started to refine my tastes. Not to wander too far on that, but yeah, like I said, I will be able to bet you these guys are probably classical fans, because classical music, like technical death metal, like good technical death metal, knows how to take all these different ideas and string them together into one coherent idea. Now, another thing on top of that that makes this even more exceptional is this, I believe, is Virvum's first album. like right out the gate. Like I don't even think these guys were signed when this was recorded. I believe that this vinyl came out after they got signed. Who are these guys on? Season of Mist they got signed to, but I'm pretty sure I heard this before they were signed to Season of Mist. I may be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, like right out the gate, unsigned, they created this exceptional album. And that's I don't think of any other band that did that for me. Like, you know, I love all of Gorod's stuff, but I don't love all of it as equally as I love everything since like the last 3 albums. Like that's when I really feel like they hit their stride. This band hit the stride. Album one, they hit their fucking stride. So I hope we hear another album announcement very soon. I feel confident enough to purchase whatever album they have, pre-order it blindly, because these guys know what they're doing. We'll go ahead and look at this album, and I waited for this specific print. I'm really picky on colors. I feel like I have a touch of synesthesia because I definitely associate colors with sounds, and I did feel like in particular this mint green really accentuates the sound of the album. It feels like a green album to me, I guess. I do kind of hate that I missed, I think it was the purple print that was the first really limited run, but this is definitely my favorite color print was that mint green. I think it looks best with this album. But yeah, you should definitely check these guys out. Their name is Virvum, and this album is called Illuminance.